Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk as fast as I can, which probably isn't that fast, to get you the news as fast as possible. And then after the news, we're going to walk around and visit. Kind of have a heart about everything I've learned. It's something that we need to think through and talk about. But first, the news. Target has made the short bus list. That's all the companies I'll be actively shorting. They've lowered their prices from 5,000 items. They're saying consumers have price fatigue from high inflation. Target and Walmart are in a price war to try to attract discretionary spenders. That's happening. We've been talking about it for over 2 years. Discretionary spending. Employee compensation is not keeping pace with inflation. It never does. Inflation goes up 10%. Wages are supposed to go up 10%, but they really only go up about 5%. It's usually about, if it goes up 15, inflation's wages are 10. It's always not enough. College graduates. Let me keep on going with that's a story from my granddaddy. McDonald's CEO said consumers have become more selective about how and where they spend dollars. Pepsi warned the same thing. Weak, low-income consumer spending. Home Depot. Potential customers are putting off renovations. They're waiting for interest rates to fall. Apple iPhone sales are down 10%. People are not upgrading their iPhones. Walmart shoppers are prioritizing food and health items over general merchandise. This is from the CEOs of these companies. This isn't me. KFC, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, all on the short bus. Yum brands are saying the same thing, selective spending. They're noticing it. Lululemons and Pelotons, they're definitely on the short bus list, along with Ferrari and several others. But here's the summary. CEOs are saying there is selective spending. There's more selective spending. They're getting ready. They're cutting prices. This is going to be really hard to pay your employees a higher wage when you're actually making less money on the goods. More layoffs. Grandfather mentioned his preacher. His preacher's son, went to college, got a 4-year degree in weather chasing and storm chasing maybe, I'm not sure. Can't find a job, now he's working at McDonald's. Get a trade. If you want to make it through the Thunderdome, be able to do things. There's a welding channel in the description called Taylor Welding. The Federal Reserve incorrectly thinks the labor market remains strong. People have 3 jobs, man. These jobs, if you go back to the Great Depression, women had to start working because it was bad. Well, guess what? Women are already working. Maybe 2 jobs. We're going to talk a little bit about the Great Depression too. U.S. and China are facing economic weakness. Large amounts of capital are flowing out of China, showing loss of confidence in the currency and the economy. They're not in very good shape either. I'm going to summarize this real quick because I want to move on. Central banks, the actions of these central banks have created the mess that we are now in, and it looks like we get to see what a depression actually looks like. That's my scribble scratch down there. Now, we just heard about all the things that are happening. Now, what's happening, about 100 years ago or so? These cycles, they just seem to happen every now and then. Stock market crashed, wiping out billions. A quarter of the U.S. workforce lost their jobs within 4 years. This is a long time. It's nothing fast, so chill out. Even those still employed saw wages and hours significantly cut. Families had to cut back severely. Discretionary spending. Return to more frugal lifestyle. After the spending of the 1920s, or the Roaring 20s, or the Roaring 2020s. I've been called it that before. Mac and cheese, baked beans, potato soup, and cornbread was popular meals. A lot of carbs, filler, not going to McDonald's and spending $40 or $50 to feed your family. malnutrition in children, school closures, and falling tax revenues. When I read that, I thought, man, that made me think of here in Louisiana. Everywhere you go here, there's a bridge. There's a bridge like every mile or two. Really. They're all over the place. And this one down here had a hole in it, and it took them about 8 months to fix it. Me and Jose could have took a hot glue gun and popsicle sticks and fixed that thing in a week. I don't understand it. I mean, I was up under it with a boat. They didn't do much. But here's the thing. What are we going to do when this gets worse, when they don't have enough tax revenue? Are we going to be landlocked? That's something we should all think about, all right? Soup kitchens and bread lines. We're already seeing that. The soup kitchens, the homeless people are already got that hemmed up. You can go to any big city and you'll see a bunch of homeless people, and you'll see beggars that just asking, begging for whatever. It's here. It's already here. It's like for some reason you can't see it because I'm not sure. It's a very strange environment. We're going to talk about that as we walk around. Shanty towns and homeless encampments. Same difference. We're already seeing that. They're having parking lots full of people. Park your car, you can sleep here and work for the elite right down the road. Guys, that's really about all of that. Here's the takeaway. McDonald's, Pepsi, Home Depot, Apple, KFC, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, all these people, you don't get to say, hey, everybody, we're not doing as good as we were, and your stock keep going up. There's a lot of people that are invested in these companies that might think about, not worrying about that other 10%. But on the flip side, we could have the market melt up and you could make another 30 or 50. I don't know. I really don't. I just know it looks like they're doing that. That's what it seems to be happening. And if it's not immediately, it'll be in the future. Nothing goes up forever, right? Now, let's go walk around and have a visit. Guys, have an awesome, awesome day. If you want to hang out and visit, you're more than welcome. No papers. First, I'm going to feed the fish. I forgot. So, I was researching hours today, and I came up with a bunch of stories that Stacy said I couldn't talk about. This is very aggravating. Like I said, I am losing subscribers willy-nilly, and some people can talk about things, some people can't. I don't know exactly what to do. There's so much going on with the jib-jab, jabberwocky, whatever you want to call it, the woohoo bat flu thing that everybody else can talk about, probably not me. That is terrifying. We're having people reach out to us that actually have the symptoms. I mean, several of these people. We're having people start to call in and tell us these things like, man, I don't hold that against you if you took it. Not in the least. So I couldn't do a video about that, right? And I went on and I started researching what's actually going on. And there is so much. You see, you can't put any violence. See, I had to go through re-education camp on YouTube, and you can't put any violence on YouTube. Some people can, I can't. And the stuff that I wanted to put on here was there was an African American man talking about how he wanted to do away with all white people. And it was being posted and shared on Twitter and spread around. And it's one after the other. And I don't, I could care less what some idiot thinks, because he's an idiot. But it's stirring up this bowl of doo-doo. It's getting bad. Like, people are really thinking war between each other. It's like, guys, that ain't it. This is something we don't even want to think about. And it's everywhere I went today. War, Civil War, women getting beat. I mean, these men of color were just beating the crap out of a lady. And it's over and over. And I know that kind of stuff happens. But it's almost like it's on purpose. It's to turn you against each other. And I'm pretty sure, well, I know it is, it's a demonic thing that Satan's trying to promote this. He loves this. He loves death. He's the father of all lies. And that's all I noticed all day. And it really drained me. You know, you heard what I came up with to talk about today, and that's nowhere near what I wanted to talk about. It is important. I do think we're headed into a pretty deep recession. To be honest with you, a depression. It's going to be hard to say because they're going to stimulate and print money. They're going to do the wrong thing. You know that. And that's when you'll be happy you bought your precious metals, even if they do go down. You know, I'm not exactly sure how that works out. I want everybody to kind of think through this for people that made it this far. When precious metals are being bought up, when times are decent, right? When times get really, really hard, I think precious metals might go down some. It's hard to say because the government might immediately turn the printer on. They might, as soon as we just, any kind of recession area, they might go full bore and just, you know, blow this thing up, and then, you know, you'll be really, really happy that you have your precious metals. I think you'll be happy regardless in the future. But in the short term, FOMO is really starting to kick in. I've been there so many times. I've done it. The fear of missing out is way worse than the fear of losing money. So try to remember that. And this goes for anything. If you're into Bitcoin or you're into whatever, when you start feeling that fear, just calm down. Maybe buy a little bit to try to calm that craving. Be like, okay, I got a little bit, it's going to come down. And the people that manipulate these markets, they'll make it go up, and then they'll drop it down, and then people say, no, I'm just going to hang on, and then they'll drop it down a little more, and then people are like, oh, I'm going to sell. They got weak hands. They sell, and then they make it go up again, and they miss it again. They lose money again. Been there. So I just want you to think through this now. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you are wiser, older, know way more than me. I just hate to see anybody do something crazy and go all in on anything, you know? And people, for some reason, assume that every time I talk about precious metals, I mean all of your wealth, sell everything you got and put it into precious metals. That is not what I'm talking about. That would be idiotic. I'll never do that. I wouldn't. Well, I'm not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want. I've lost money every time I've done that because I don't have what it takes to hang on to it when it's bad. If you just food for thought. Stacy does have a new price list coming out, and she wanted me to remind you, if you're not getting her emails, we've been having some trouble with that. We've been having some trouble with our phone signal too. It's really strange. Like I don't have service anywhere around here now. Used to have 5 bars. Anyway, if you want her email, or you want to be on the email list to get the sheet, text 318-564-5823. That's her personal cell phone number. And she'll give you the list of precious metals, physical precious metals that you can have with you when you go shop for your metals. I legit want you guys to have whatever it is you want when it comes to precious metals. That's why I started selling them for Miles Franklin, because that's who I was already using. But just, I can't see it turning around. I looked at the charts today. Silver's just going bonkers. It went up to past 30. I thought, well, surely it'll turn around 30. Went to 32 something. And it turned back and hit a little hourly gap and shot off again. Now it's came back a little bit. It's like 30, I think it's right at 32, 31.99 last time I looked. But just, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to talk about silver any more than I already do. I'm not going to try to get on the FOMO bandwagon and try to get people to buy at expensive prices. But you don't know where it's going to turn around. That's the whole thing. But that's really about it. I'm concerned about the Civil War thing. I'm concerned about all the hate and everybody trying to get one over on each other. It's really sickening. The devil is wide open, man. He is working as hard as he possibly can. I think he knows his time's short, because it is obvious. And this currency collapse thing that everybody's thinking they're going to get rich in precious metals is going to be the most awful time in history. That's fact. There won't be rumors of war anymore. It'll be sure enough war. All right, guys. Hate they're so gloomy. Have an awesome, awesome day. I'll see you in the next one later.